Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that European allies have not yet made a clear and guaranteed promise of protection against a possible new attack by Russia. "I have been asking this question to all our partners, but so far I have not received a clear, unambiguous answer," he told reporters on Wednesday. The statement came a day after Britain and France signed a declaration of intent to deploy troops in Ukraine if a peace deal with Russia is signed to end the war. However, no agreement has yet been reached on full and legally binding security guarantees. The United States, which is leading the main negotiations to end the war, reportedly did not make such commitment at the meeting in Paris. About 30 countries, known as the Coalition of the Willing, took part in these talks. After the Paris meeting, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that London and Paris would set up military bases across Ukraine to deter future incursions. French President Emmanuel Macron said thousands of troops could be deployed. The Allies also proposed that the United States would lead the monitoring of any potential ceasefire. However, the issue of whether Ukraine would be required to make territorial concessions in favor of Russia is still under discussion. The Russian side has not yet officially commented on the statements made in Paris. Recall that Russian President Vladimir Putin launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Moscow currently controls about 20% of Ukraine.
Keir Starmer called the joint statement an important part of the long-term partnership with Ukraine. He said it would pave the way for Britain, France, and other partner countries to operate legally on Ukrainian territory, protect its air and sea borders, and rebuild the Ukrainian army. Zelensky initially hailed the agreement as a huge step forward, but a day later he was more cautious. "I see the political will. I see the readiness of our partners. They are ready to provide strong sanctions and security guarantees," he said. But until these guarantees are legally binding, until they are backed by parliaments and the U.S. Congress, there can be no definitive answer to that question. In any case, we will have to rely primarily on our own strength. The Paris talks were also notable for the participation of U.S. President Donald Trump's special representatives Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Witkoff said the allies have almost completed work on security protocols. Zelensky said last week that the peace deal was, quote, 90% complete, but the territorial issue and security guarantees remain the most contentious points in the talks. Putin has repeatedly said that Russia will occupy the eastern regions of Donbass if Ukrainian troops do not fully withdraw, and has refused to compromise. Zelensky, however, has ruled out giving up any territory for now. At the same time, he has said that the possibility of withdrawing troops to certain agreed points is possible only if Russia does the same. Russia currently controls about 75% of Donetsk region and almost all of Luhansk region. These areas are known as Donbass. At the same time, Russia has stepped up attacks on Ukrainian cities, especially on energy infrastructure. Ukraine has retaliated with drone strikes, but with limited capabilities.